Peter Dunn here from the Australia at War website. I'm out at Archfield Airfield waiting for the bus to arrive for our AHSA Queensland Incorporated visit to the Amberley RAAF Aviation Heritage Museum. Heritage Centre actually is the name. There's some of our fellows over there coming out the front door. This is the Art Deco old terminal building that was built just prior to World War II.
Crash alert. Right, so every Super Hornet pilot takes a cable as a part of his training, and that's a full crash practice. But there are ambulances, fire engine trucks, and police dog training on this base, so anything can happen. All right. The engines are preserved, but we don't keep our aircraft operations. So welcome to Wallaby Airlines.
Yeah. Yes, I've read the book.
They came 35 squadron in Vietnam. You've got to jump out of here like some... You see the static lines?
Right, the static line.
So,
and down goes the ramp.
So if you're doing a single drop, you might drop out the ramp, but the Army... C-130 Hercules, the Spartan operates the same sorts of engines as the J model Hercules and the same sorts of instruments and whatnot on the instrument panel. And 35 Squadron, their headquarters and whatnot is straight through the trees across there. You can't see it at the moment, but yeah, twin engine instead of four. The beauty of the Spartan versus the Caribou is that they carry the same sorts of air cargo pallets as the C-17, the C-130 and various other aircraft, including the KC-30. Well, you've got a few interesting stories in this particular hangar, and this particular aircraft is obviously a replica. It's a Sopwith Camel, as flown by the airmen and whatnot of the Australian Flying Corps in World War I. Purely a replica. It was at Army Aviation at Oakey for quite some time, till we got it. Now, the stories go that in the early days of military aviation, the pilots on either side were very, very friendly towards each other, and they'd smile and wave and take photographs, until some sod thought, well, hey, he's my enemy and I'll take a shot at him next time. And of course that carried on, and submachine guns were brought in, and then somebody said, well, can we put machine guns on? Now, I'm told that in the initial trials of firing machine guns from an aircraft like this, they were shooting the propellers off. Then somebody came up with a clever idea that put metal plates on the sides of the propellers, so to deflect the rounds. Whether that worked very well or not, I don't know. And somebody, as a genius, came up with a mathematical solution that would put around through an interrupter mechanism put around between the blades as they spun. Now, how you could possibly equate that to mathematics, I don't know. This particular one had 3 different colour speeds through the flight. Pretty much what you see now, orange and white, or fair scan, and then red, white, and blue, as the vehicles don't move to the right. The aircraft second allegedly they fired the gun and fly back. Coming over here to the sabres, the Australian sabre, when Commonwealth Aircraft Corporation engineers got approval to build the sabre, they determined that the Rolls-Royce Avon would probably be a better job than the General Electric power plant in America that put in the aircraft. To get the Rolls-Royce Avon in, they actually had to redesign the fuselage. They got approval to do it. Arguably, the Australian design and built sabre was the best of any version. This particular one, though, 18th of July 71, along with a batch of other aircraft, it had been flown up here from Williamtown to do low-level flying down around the Flemington Plateau. The manager of Winterborough Lodge hears aircraft in the area. He goes out to see what the devil is happening. He's in time to see this jet flown by Dave Peach, pilot officer at the time, fly into 2 out of 3 power cables that are running across the valley. First one's gone in here and snapped. Second one's impacted below the cockpit, gone up, shattered the canopy, taken the top of his helmet, broken his visor, and snapped on the tail fin. Now, how the aircraft didn't stall, who knows? How he managed to keep it flying, who knows? He had external fuel tanks. His wingman had missed everything. Comes up on radio, you're not on fire. He's got no canopy, he's probably got a thumping headache, he's probably got a laundry problem, and he's not sure whether the ejection seat will work. So he decides to try and get the aircraft back here. He dumps his external fuel tanks, to all intents and purposes, gets back here quite safely, puts it down, gets to a parking position, shuts it down. He gets checked over by the doctors for about 45 minutes. They clear him of any concussion or any other injuries. His senior officer from number 5 operational unit, then being a kind, caring and compassionate senior officer, comes over with a new helmet, points to another sabre. Dave, that aircraft's been warmed up, now go and fly again, son. So within about 50 minutes of landing on in this jet, Dave Peach is back up in the air. He was a pilot officer at the time. He went on to become an air commodore. We're told that we're going to get his helmet. You can see a photograph of the helmet there with the damage done to it. I'll believe that when I see it. And if you want to pass this around, that's the sort of cable that he flew into.
Do things yourself.
Right.
George's Jeep. Sorry.
E-model, H-model, J-model, J-model. J is where you've got any different previous models, you've got example, this was used for many years for training, simulated training on pilots and flight engineers. Went to Wagga when they built a purpose-built facility at Richmond, trained techos at Wagga, and then came here. When we first had it on display over there.
I'll tell you the story about this aircraft.
Could I just dive in quickly?
Alright, so this is a Lockheed 10. This is the same model aircraft as Amelia Earhart was flying when she was lost. Alright, so her aircraft was modified for purpose, and it was a flying fuel tank. If you look in here, everywhere where you see seats forward of that door, in Amelia's aircraft it was a fuel tank. Right? So her radio operators sat in the back, and they communicated by a clothesline with pegs on it to pass notes backwards and forwards between the forward and the back cockpit. The aircraft was designed in the mid-1930s. These ones built in 1937. Now, Reg Ansett, you all know Reg Ansett? Anybody know him personally?
Chancet with Ansett.
So Reg. Well, Mr. Reg Ansett started his businesses before this aircraft came along. He was competing with Victorian Rail for road freight. Government changed the laws and said you couldn't compete directly against the railways, so very socialistic law. Reg went looking for other business, decided he was already a pilot, decided to try and open an airline. He got two basically barnstorming aircraft and proved that he could sell tickets to his investors. He showed investors he could make a viable regional airline in Victoria, and with that, investors and the banks gave him money, and he went and bought 3 of these aircraft.
Other than that, we could walk out once a year. F60 versus the 5.56 Steyr or an Armalite. Our guy here's got the leader. He's got his monkey strap hooked up to the fuselage, so he can move around the
One route.
He's responsible for operating the which we don't have, the load in the back, and manning that gun if need be. If the aircraft was configured as a gunship, he's manning twin machine
Do you want
guns.
to see this?
In the gunship role, rocket pod out here, Gatling machine gun out here on both sides, 6-barrel Gatling machine gun capable of firing up to 6,000 rounds per minute. We had them set at about 4,500. And they were fed from a hopper that held about 10,000 rounds. So essentially we had about a minute's worth of support fire when we were in support of the unit in contact.